Hello everybody, welcome back to Screamers. We are in the studio fresh from a weekend of not only WSL action, but we have also ventured out into the rugby world. So Maya and I are the only ones here this week, and we enjoyed a trip to Ashton Gate on Saturday. I was a bit annoyed I couldn't put it on my Footballogy app because it was a rugby game, but wow, world rocked.
Honestly, we are massive Red Roses fans now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so lucky to have gotten to go to that semi-final against France, see a convincing win from England. The rugby players, wow,
they
so
are
impressive.
Absolutely incredible. It did start off actually quite tense. Like, I think for some reason I just really thought we were going to walk it, but it was so tight in the first half.
Yeah, France were a really strong team.
They were.
But managed to get the W, and now England will be playing Canada in the final at Twickenham on Saturday.
I will be locked in. If anyone has spare tickets for that they're not going to use, please DM the Screamers account because I'm desperate to go.
Yeah, we'll sprint across London the Emirates to Twickenham.
We will be there. Also, I just want to say, rugby has such a vibe. Like, they had a DJ there who was like spinning tracks every time a try was scored, or just to entertain us while the ref was talking to the players about a scrum. Like, you know, we were never bored.
No, and pints in the stands everywhere.
Yeah.
Again, rocked my world.
Such a vibe. Anyway, should we dig into the WSL?
Let's do it.
Jessie's on holiday, so we will be going through the WSL action from this weekend, just the two of us. So shall we start with Spurs Man City?
Yeah, so I was watching this on Friday night. I thought this would be the better game to watch for some reason, but it seemed that Everton London City Lionesses was a bit more exciting, but we can get into that. Wow, Spurs, we had high hopes for them after the first couple of games.
I know. I mean, there was almost that amazing overhead kick goal that actually I would have been back on the kind of like, oh, maybe they're going somewhere train. But that didn't quite come off, unfortunately. So, yeah, they lost 5-1 to Man City. I mean, great for Man City because they haven't necessarily had their shooting boots on yet this season. So I guess it was nice for them to come to East London and be able to kind of show that form.
Yeah, and share the goals around as well. I guess the big story of this game really was Grace Clinton's debut, coming on as a sub against her former team.
A very respectful celebration.
Yeah, it was funny. It was like arms kind of raised to shoulder level.
Shy smile.
And then shy smile and then like, yeah, that was a big moment really.
I think for all the scoreline shows, I do actually think Liza Kopp is a good goalkeeper. She saved
100%.
She like an amazing penalty save from Bunny Shaw's penalty, and a few other quite impressive saves actually throughout the game.
Yeah, she made some really good saves. I'd say that Bunny's penalty was obviously not amazing. It was like about the right height and not super wide for Kopp to get to,
but she guessed
still,
the right way, and she could have fumbled it. And
exactly, big respect.
I think again, actually, with Man City, we're still kind of seeing a sort of lack of the clinicalness we've come to expect from Bunny Shaw. There are a couple of misses apart from that penalty.
They had so many chances.
Exactly, yeah. And just quickly on Liza Kopp, you know, there's only so much a goalie can do when there's actually 10 other players on the pitch that aren't necessarily helping her.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Spurs' defence was obviously poor, and then there's moments like where Kasparov gets on the end of that ball for her header, and Jess Naz just completely lets her get away from her. Yeah, and you can't do that with Kirsten Kasparov because she's gonna like put her life on the line to score a goal. Yeah,
it was really good to see Carolyn. I thought her pace down that left hand side, she's making a lot of impact there. She's been such a good signing for that club. Yeah, just really gave them like another gear down that side, I thought.
Yeah, you never want to see Lauren Hemp come off injured, but when you can bring Carolyn on, it's like, okay, yeah, not the worst thing in the world.
Especially against really a club like Spurs, who just don't have that dynamism at the moment. It just was such a sort of like light and shade, I thought, watching her play. So yeah, that game finished 5-1, but as Honor said, there was another game going on at the same time, which was Everton once again at their new home Goodison Park welcoming London City Lionesses, and it's not proving to be a lucky stadium for Everton women at the moment.
No, So, yeah, London City Lionesses won 2-1 at Everton's gaff.
First for them.
A first WSL win for them, which is obviously really exciting. Izzy Goodwin.
Izzy Goodwin, Golden Boot winner and Player of the Season in the Championship last year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chat kind of about whether she is up to WSL standard or whether she's more of that kind of like suited to Championship pace or whatever. I thought it was really interesting, Jocelyn Pressure saying after the match, referring like not just to her but also to the team, just saying like there's a lot of talent, we're still adapting to this league, and when we adapt you'll see the talent like really shine through in this team. And especially with Izzy just saying that like she needed to get used to the pace and now she's getting used to it, like we're already seeing what she can do.
I think it was definitely, you could start seeing, it felt like things were coming together more. The forward play looked so much more like they were playing as a team, like with Lindstrom, Paris and Goodwin.
Yeah.
It seemed like something was clicking and they were kind of like slotting in for each other and knowing where each other were, like being able to cross to each other. I think definitely there's a lot lacking on the pitch for London City Lionesses, and I think Everton could have given them a run for the money and they didn't, but it's definitely coming together. And you're right, you can definitely see that quality that they have been paying for. So two goals for Izzy Goodwin.
Yeah, 2 goals for Izzy Goodwin. First goal is like just smashes it, really good finish, and then the second one, Lindstrom was really impressive. I think she just puts like a lovely through ball straight to Paris, who just neatly crosses it for Izzy Goodwin to finish off, and it's like perfect team goal.
Exactly.
Which just shows them gelling.
Do you think it's like Drag Race where like every week someone gets a big bonus cash prize in London City Lionesses because it's coming for Izzy this week?
Well, it's never coming for Yana Fernandez because she's been conceding a penalty every week. And then on Sunday, I took the trip to Kings Meadow.
How'd you find it?
Had a great time. It was lovely, sunny, good vibes. Fans were out in full force. But it was a great day. Not an inspiring performance from Chelsea.
I was really surprised when I saw the scoreline because I was watching a different game at this time, but I couldn't believe it was only 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I think people were pointing out online that pre-Sonia, the scorelines against Leicester are like 7-0, 8-0, blah, blah, blah. And then ever since she's joined, it's been like 1-0, 1-1, like 2-1. Which I don't know if you can read into that too much. It's obviously a bit of a bogey team. Obviously, before with Amandine Mikel, it was like their little rivalry, but now she's gone. I just thought she'd set the team up really weirdly and it did not work at all. And then the subs made no sense to me. So I was like,
interesting.
I have no idea what she was, well, maybe what she was trying to do tactically, but it seemed really crazy to me. I think with the formation, she's kind of setting up with the back five with Baltimore and Carpenter as fullbacks. We've got like Bright, Berman, who made her debut, who was really impressive actually, and Nat Bjorn, who is obviously solid. But yeah, Baltimore was just like not able to get up pitch at all. Carpenter was a bit more, but it's like with this kind of fullback situation, they're not actually progressing the ball at all. Ball's not being progressed through the midfield either. So it's like they just seemed really stuck.
Weird.
It was really strange. And then the subs, Sonia put Thompson on for Baltimore and Hermano on for Kat Macario. Thompson was super impressive actually.
Really?
Yeah. Really speedy, good with her feet, and she definitely like injected a bit of pace in those wide areas, and just like, yeah, she was really tricky. So that did something, but still overall, like the subs were just crazy. Putting Sam Kerr on for captain, and then like at the last minute putting on Rutin Canarid and Gura Wrighton, like with a few minutes to go. It's like, okay, if you wanted to make an impact, if you want to score more goals, which you're putting attacking players on in the dying minutes of a game, like, why are you doing this now?
I guess even a 1-0 win, like everyone can sort of pick over it, but at the end of the day, they've got the 3 points, and that's kind of how Chelsea do it, isn't it?
Exactly. That's kind of my attitude, but I'm seeing a lot of head loss from the fans who are like, I guess the performances this season haven't been that inspiring, and people are getting worried, obviously with Champions League games coming up as well. It just seems like Millie Bright is undroppable. She made quite a few mistakes during this game, didn't obviously lead to anything. Also the Villa game, I thought she had some really sketchy moments. but it just seems like Sonia doesn't want to drop her. So is playing this kind of weird back three, and it's like
to cover her a bit.
Just like get rid, like you'll be fine. I wonder if this is a bit of a test with Berman and like to see how that she can get on alongside Bjorn maybe. But yeah,
TBC, I guess.
TBC.
And then the game I obviously watched was the Man United Arsenal game, which ended 0-0. A disappointing 1 point. Yeah.
Snooze. No, it wasn't.
It was like, I feel like both teams were playing really well until either team got to the final third. And then there was just a real lack of, from both sides, a real lack of good decision making. Man United came out really well, which is, I think, we're used to them doing. I think Arsenal didn't get out of like first gear in the first half. Then I think we kind of did in the second half.
Yeah.
Made a few changes, but still the finishing was just like left so much to be desired. Like we had one shot on target in 90 minutes, which is just like, if we're trying to win the league, that's just not.
Well, I was just thinking that like there were some good saves from Tullis Joyce, but that doesn't make sense if you had one shot on target.
Yeah, no, it was just the Olivia Smith shot.
Just the Olivia Smith. Yeah. I mean, that was a great save, to be fair.
It was a great save.
And then she was robbed of the credit for that, with it being awarded as a goal kick.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she didn't mind that going that way instead of a corner, as long as everyone saw her mega save.
Well, and just on Olivia Smith, she still did look really dangerous going down that right hand side, but I think she just wasn't. We weren't able to, as we often have not been able to do, we weren't able to find the spaces. Russo was playing in the 10, which maybe isn't her favourite place to play. It meant she wasn't as effective as she is when she plays in the 9. So they, again, a bit like Chelsea, there are a few switch ups this week.
Yeah.
I don't know how successful they were.
I mean, the start of Stina with Russo, what did you make of that? Because...
Well, at the beginning of this season, I felt like Stina and Russo had started playing quite well together. It didn't seem to be working that well this week. I'm not sure why. But again, kind of nothing in the final third was working as well as it has done the last few weeks, which is a shame because this has probably been our biggest test so far this season.
Yeah.
And so I think we really did need to get those 3 points.
Yeah.
So I think actually... it was probably more of a, maybe I'm saying this as an Arsenal fan, but it felt like a big disappointment for Arsenal and maybe not so much for Man U because they managed to not concede.
Yeah, I think for the ambitions of both of those teams this season, they would have wanted to get the 3 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, a clean sheet for Man United will be important because obviously they're very disciplined defensively and they had such a good record last season defensively.
Once again, those really strange interviews at half-time. There was an interview of Renee Slagers and the interviewer was like, so what are you going to do to like try and break down Man U in the second half? And Renee was like, well, obviously I'm not going to share that here. So it's just like these interviews are so pointless.
Bizarre.
And then we will have to sadly mention West Ham Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton 4, West Ham 1. I was quite glad not to be there or to be watching it even on TV at home. Thank you, Chelsea, for distracting me. I just kept getting notifications of Brighton goals. Yeah, strange. We had Amber Tisiak benched going in. Brighton also made some changes, like Madison Haley was benched for Kiko Seke, which in the end turned out to be a great decision.
Paid off. I think there was also, Anouk Denton has been really great for West Ham, but when I only watched the highlights, but it really seemed like Fran Kirby was getting the better of her time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, Fran Kirby had a great game.
Yeah.
She was just putting in
She's got a
really
new lease of life this season.
She does. She's putting in really good crosses. Her corner delivery was like absolutely pinpoint for one of those goals. I thought, again, I haven't obviously watched everything, but I thought Maisie Simons was really impressive. Like, it's crazy. I don't think we talk about her that much, but like, she's pretty young, captaining Brighton, kind of just like running things a bit in that midfield. She had one shot, which would have been an absolute screamer, but I'm quite glad she didn't score that.
What's next for West Ham? Because they haven't really started the season in a way that any of us really expected after their kind of the end of last season when they were really gathering some momentum.
Well, the thing is, I would say it wasn't the end of last season. It was like mid last season from January. And then they really petered out towards the end of the season. which was, so I kind of had this feeling that they weren't going to come in strong, and the signings that they've made don't seem to have made an impact. We'll see a bit more about Fionn Morgan. She obviously won the penalty, which Asai does score.
Yeah.
And I think she had one good chance as well, but it's just not enough. West Ham have been so disjointed, and Brighton, like, they made Brighton look incredible.
Yeah.
And so far this season, Brighton have not really impressed at all. Yeah, Brighton just playing with like such a high press. West Ham don't know how to handle it. And then 4 goals. The cute little 1-2 with Kafaji and Kiko Seke for Seke's goal. Gorgeous. And then like not long after, Kafaji scores her screamer.
And
Olaslaga scores her screamer.
Shemek did actually make some good saves as well.
She did. To be fair, the save to deny Michelle Adman's like close range header was unreal. Like, she was probably quite lucky with her positioning, but also really, really impressive. So it's good to have her back fit for West Ham.
But TBC,
but her being fit and being a good keeper is obviously not enough to stop Brighton from putting 4 past you.
And then the last fixture of the weekend that was going to be Aston Villa-Liverpool was postponed following the tragic death of Matt Beard on the news that came out on Saturday evening. For anyone listening who isn't familiar with Matt Beard, although I'm sure you all are, he was one of the kind of biggest influencers and supporters of the women's game over the last kind of 20 years. And by all accounts that have been coming out over the weekend, a really loving, supporting, genuine, kind, thoughtful guy. Jessie's not here with us at the moment. She's on holiday, but as a lifelong Liverpool fan, he was the manager of Liverpool for a long time and led them to 2 consecutive WSL titles. She has written a few thoughts down, so we're just going to read them here.
Beardy. The most beautiful thing about all the tributes paid to Beardy by those who knew him has been seeing everyone celebrate exactly what always stood out. And what I loved as a fan, beyond the trophies he brought to Liverpool, beyond bringing us back up, he was just a thoroughly good bloke. He was like your dad or your uncle on the sidelines, a bit of a recurring thing with Liverpool gaffers. He was a guy who loved his players and who they loved back. Look at how many followed him between clubs. You won't get a better sign of a good person in football than that. He was underrated as a manager and as someone who's helped drive women's football to where it is now in England. And it's just so fucking sad to lose him so young.
Yeah, and it just goes without saying that our thoughts are with his family, his friends, and the women's football community. Okay, the competition is back. Just because Jessie's away, the competition stops for no one, and she has sent her entry in.
Yeah, should I read out her bid for her Screamer of the Week?
Go for it.
So, 2 screamers from Spurs in 2 weeks is the final sign, if anyone needed it, that all isn't right in the world. But what a hit from Holt.
She's not wrong.
Strikes it beautifully. Keating is rooted to her spot and doesn't even get a chance to save it. Obviously, only a consolation goal, but it is still an unbelievable screamer. Agreed?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable screamer.
Yeah, what a banger. It's crazy how I was a little bit like, ooh, about Grace Clinton, because she just gave the ball away so easily to Holt there. I was like, you can't be this complacent, even against Spurs. And then Holt, as soon as she gets hold of the ball, wham.
Yeah.
Banger.
So what are you choosing, Honor?
Okay, I'm quite torn because there were loads of screamers this week. Looking over to the NWSL, I have to give Mina Tanaka a shout out for Utah Royals for her like crazy little footwork. That was a lot of flair and then volley finish. But I'm going to stay in the WSL for my screamer. And I am going to pick Alba Fagino because
that was a good one.
Obsessed with her. She played really well for Man City and it's exciting to see her coming into her own and scoring bangers. Also loved Izzy Goodwin's first WSL goal. Got to shout that out.
Yeah.
And Olaslagas for Brighton. That was a total screamer as well.
Yeah.
So it's a tough week.
That game was full of screamers. My screamer also comes from that game and it is Rosa Kafaji's first goal for Brighton.
Absolute belter. First start for Brighton as well.
Exactly, yeah. Absolute worldie. nabs the ball down the left-hand side and just rockets it top right-hand corner. It's beautiful goal.
Honestly, thank God she's gone out on loan, because
if she can do that, she should not be sitting on the bench at Arsenal for a full season.
No. And she's so young as well. It's just like,
I'm really happy
for her development not to be playing. And hopefully she'll get a really good opportunity alongside Michelle Adjumang as well from Arsenal. So
yeah,
who knows?
So those are our Screamers of the Week. We will put them up for you to vote. So from Jessie, it's Olivia Holt. From Honor, it's
Alba Fagino.
And from me, it's Rosa Kafaji. So it's happening. The greatest competition on earth is kicking off in full. So the draw was on Friday. There's a new format this year. So we're going to have a sort of new league phase that starts in October, runs to December. So there's 18 teams that are going to play 6 games each, 3 home and 3 away, in a sort of league system. The top 4 sides at the end of the overall league phase will advance straight to the quarterfinals. And then those who finish between 5th and 12th will then have a 2-legged playoff to decide the final 4 teams that make the final 8 of the quarterfinals. So it's all happening soon. It starts in like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 7th of October is the first match day, I think.
Buzzing. Chelsea have, of course, been drawn against Barcelona in their
yeah, I mean, it was inevitable. And I also think in this new structure, like the league phase, where every team is playing 6 teams, it's kind of like...
the stakes are not as high in the one game.
No, exactly. And yeah, maybe they will meet them later in the competition again. But I think it's not a bad thing to...
it's maybe a good warm-up for them,
get that game, even if it goes badly.
Shit. Maybe it's actually an advantage they're meeting Barcelona now. Oh. That was me feeling smug. Arsenal are taking on Lyon and Bayern Munich as part of our 6 game league section.
So those are your 2 teams from pot 1, which is the more difficult pot.
I know that in the end we got the better of Bayern Munich last year, but I am quite scarred still from my trip to Munich.
Yeah. I was thinking about that during the draw. I was like, well, I liked Munich until Pernilla Harder came along.
Until I said, wow, Pernilla Harder doesn't look that good. And then she scored a hat-trick. So I won't be going to Munich for that game in November, I don't think. I'm not a sucker for punishment that much.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have quite a good draw, I reckon, difficulty-wise. Obviously, Barcelona and Chelsea are probably the hardest fixtures that you can have, and they haven't either.
But Chelsea have also drawn Wolfsburg, and I don't think Wolfsburg have been, maybe it's famous last words, but over the past few years, they haven't been the threat that they were 5 years ago.
No, definitely not. Chelsea also have, other than Barcelona, they have a very straightforward draw.
Who are they?
So Chelsea have Wolfsburg, Roma, St. Polten, Twente, and Paris FC. So pretty okay. And then obviously the third,
yes,
we've
Man
got
United.
3 English teams in
Exciting.
the league stage of the Champions League. So Man United, who've got Lyon, Wolfsburg, Juventus, PSG, Atletico, and Vålerenga. That's pretty tough, I would say. Out of the 3 English teams, they've got kind of the toughest toughest draw there. Obviously PSG, for being in pot 2, obviously they've got some good players. They're not as good as Lyon, but I think they could be a really tricky one for a lot of teams.
I really like this new league structure because I think it just makes the competition so much more 3-dimensional.
100%. I think it's really exciting. Like, for every team to play 6 teams, like 6 European teams across a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's so much more exciting than doing like home and away of 3 teams.
Do you have the shortlist of the Arsenal 6? I can't remember them all.
Yep, so Arsenal have Lyon, Bayern, Real Madrid, Benfica, Twente and OH Leuven.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Man U have got, I think, the biggest hill to climb there.
So do you fancy any Arsenal away days this season?
Well,
are you tempted to go back to Munich?
I'm really not tempted to go to Munich. I'm sad that the Real Madrid game is a home game because I would have potentially been up for Madrid.
How about Benfica, a trip to Portugal?
Yeah, Yeah, I guess I just feel like that's further away for just one midweek game, but let's see.
A bit of sunshine, bit of autumn sunshine.
Exactly. Maybe a little trip. Let's see. But I'm really excited. I think it's fun to be able to see, especially with 3 England clubs, like it's fun to be able to see so many different European teams coming.
100%. I'm so excited to go to some of these games.
Yeah. So keep locked in with us, guys, because we will obviously be diving back into the Champions League when it starts for real on October the 7th. Do you have anything for the Woso Community Noticeboard?
I mean, this is kind of big news. Maybe people will have seen it, but Kansas City Current have won the NWSL Shield.
Woohoo!
So, yeah, that is kind of crazy. That's put them up in the Opta Power Rankings to 4th in the world.
Wow.
With only Barcelona, Chelsea and Lyon above. So
What? Where's Arsenal on that list?
Arsenal's 6th.
Oh,
Man City
that's
are 5th.
not right. I'm afraid that's not right.
Well, obviously, the Opta modelling is flawed, seeing as Arsenal aren't top. But yeah, I saw the celebrations and yeah, they're having a really, really solid season.
So they've won the Shield, but this is this like weird thing in the NWSL, which I can never really get my head around, which is that they don't really care who wins the league. They just care who wins the playoff in November, right?
Yeah, so the regular season is now done and the Shield has been won by Kansas City Current. But now we're going into the playoff, which is the NWSL Championship. So the actual champion of the championship will be crowned in late November. Yeah, obviously Kansas City Current are on a pretty amazing run, and last season's double champions Orlando Pride are looking poor compared to their previous form. So
it's all a big shake-up.
Yeah, big shake-up.
My notice is, well, I've got a couple, but one is congratulations to Ruesha Littlejohn, who is now an Eagle.
Yeah.
She's just signed for Crystal Palace Women after
South London.
a brief time away. Nice to have her back in London.
It is, yeah. I'm hoping to go to a Palace game at some point as well.
Yeah.
Catch a bit of the WSL 2.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just like such a fun character, isn't she?
Such
And
good
a fun
vibes.
footballer as well. So I'll enjoy having her back.
And then my other notice is I read about a team this week called FC Union Berlin, who are a newly promoted team to the Frauen Bundesliga, having been promoted 2 seasons consecutively. So from the 3rd tier to the 2nd last year to the top this year.
Mega.
And they are completely fan owned by 70,000 fans. But the most incredible thing I read about them, well, one of them is that they only turned pro for the 23-24 season and now are playing in the Frauen Bundesliga so soon after that. And last season, they had the 4th highest attendance of any professional women's team across Europe.
That is
Isn't that amazing?
insane. The 4th highest across Europe.
And they were in the 2nd tier.
Wow.
So cool.
That is dedication.
So
an incredible fan base to have.
Exactly. So I'm very excited to hopefully go to Berlin and watch a game.
Yeah, I'd love to. That's so cool.
It's so cool, actually. I was reading like more about them, and the person who was being interviewed, who is on the kind of board of the club, was saying that the way they had done it was they had such a good fan base for the men, but they just started basically publicising, which sounds so simple, but I just don't think it's something that a lot of these clubs do. They started just genuinely publicising them as like a one club thing. So many of the men's fans come to the women's games because like they just think of it genuinely as one club, which I don't think is something we have managed to transcend in England yet.
No, I don't think so. It's obviously there are a lot more fans drifting over from being men's fans, but it's definitely not on a wider level.
No,
considered
exactly.
Like one club.
I mean, to have only gone professional in the 23-24 season and to already have the 4th largest attendance of any women's professional team, like,
it's massive,
is such a testament to how like they must be thought of by that fan base. So I thought that was really cool.
Love. That is all we've got time for today, but come back next week where we will have Jessie back in the studio as well. We'll be catching up on all the action. Until then, follow us on social media at screamers_pod or drop us an email at screamerspod@gmail.com if you've got anything to say.
And don't forget to follow, rate and review so that you know first when a new episode drops, and so that we can reach even more women's football fans.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.